Thank you so much. Can I get my slide up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Perfect to hear from all of you. So it's fantastic to be here. As Masoud introduced me, I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Engineering at AUT at the moment, but I used to be a Massey student one day. So I'm a PhD graduate from Massey University. So today was fantastic to come back to university, although I didn't expect so many construction around the campus, but I wish I could have been here a little bit earlier to just go around and see what changed in the last. I graduated in 2013, so in the last 6 years. So it was fantastic to be here. So I'm also a founder of a charitable trust called She Shop, so I'm happy to talk to you about that later on. But I'm here tonight to talk about the area of my research, which is artificial intelligence, and also I'm lecturing a course around Internet of Things and also future of works. When I was going to put the talk together, I thought, I don't know who the audience are. And I still don't know, so tell me, how many of you in computer science? Quite a few of you. How many engineering? Any other engineering field? Mechanical, electrical engineering? Anyone from industry here? Working in industry? A few. Brilliant. So when I just put the talk together, I saw Michael's talk was about the smart classroom, and I thought, how about talking about artificial intelligence and talking about the topic which is very close to my heart, education. So I tried to combine these two together, but I thought at the first, I'd just give you a very brief overview about AI. So I know that quite a few of you studying computer science or computer engineering field, so bear with me for a few slides going through some of the basics, but I thought for the sake of some of the audience, they don't know anything about artificial intelligence. Let's see where we are at the moment. So we all know that we are living at the time that technology already impacted every aspect of our life. We saw it from Michael's presentation. Our classroom already changed. So technology at the moment really disturbing every aspect of our life. And to give you some example, we are living at the time that the biggest taxi company, Uber, doesn't own any car. The biggest accommodation company, Airbnb, doesn't own any real estate. What does it tell you? Disruption is upon us. It's happening right now. But not only that, what is really amazing for me, it is the amount of smart devices around us. Sensors, cameras, GPS receivers, they are all capable of collecting information. To give you some idea, for example, in the oil and gas industry, 80,000 sensors in a facility, they can produce 15 petabytes of data. Another example, look at the public safety. So 520 terabytes of data are produced by New York City surveillance camera every day. So what is very interesting for me, it's not only about the smart devices around us. So our devices today are much more powerful than what they used to be. Your smartphone in your hand has over 12 lines of codes. A simple single smart appliances at home has over 5 million lines of code. And when you start comparing this number to what you used to be 10 years ago, the numbers are staggering. So that tells you we are living at the time that there is no shortage of data. I really like this graph. How many of you seen that before? One person. What does it tell you? This is what happened in last minute, just 60 seconds ago, in internet in 2019. I don't want to go through all of the numbers here, but what is fascinating, just 60 seconds ago, 1 million login in Facebook, 3.8 million searches at Google. How many emails? 188 million emails just got sent 1 minute ago. This is big data. You probably heard the buzzword. So we are living at the time that there is no shortage of data. It's abundance of data. But the issue and problem is what to do with this data. How can we get the meaning and insight from this data? How can we get the data to work for us? So the key for unlocking this big data is artificial intelligence and machine learning. So much so, how many of you know him? So Jack Ma, the CEO of Alibaba, he said, up until now, all the machines used to use electricity, drinking electricity, but from now on, they will drink data. And I think that's so true. But let's back to the definition of artificial intelligence. So you can be a lecturer not starting from definition. So all your lecture is going right back to the definition. And I want to go back to the artificial intelligence to describe intelligence first. So who do you call an intelligent person? You guys giving each other compliment. So what is intelligent? Who is an intelligent person? Somebody can learn. What else?
Can make a decision.
Make a decision.
Process.
Process information. But to me, the very first thing, from the time that we were a little kid, we used to call someone, oh, you're a smart cookie, you're intelligent, because they solve a problem. So problem solving, learning, making decision, all of these are part of intelligence. So follow from this, artificial intelligence, it's really getting a machine to make a decision, learn over time, and act rationally like a human without human intervention. So I've been lecturing artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Every time I ask my students, they're computer science students, third year, nobody knew the definition of artificial intelligence. Now look back, in all the application you're using every day, if that application solve a problem, learning over time, and can do the things without you disrupting the whole process, you're using AI application. Just these three. So this is artificial intelligence, but is it new? Not really. Artificial intelligence all started by one simple question when Alan Turing asked, can machines think in 1950? And 5 years later, John McCarthy, he coined the term artificial intelligence. What is the biggest problem and challenge with artificial intelligence today? Any idea? Access to data is not a problem. We saw how much we can get our hand to any types of data. Text, audio, video, no issue. What else?
What is power in the image? The power of the processor.
The power of the processor. So today we can actually handling a lot of processing. So the processors, they can manage this. So especially with the use of supercomputers. Something else.
Consciousness.
What else?
Consciousness.
Consciousness.
What if it learns incorrectly?
You are all touching on the really important things at the training level. Access to the processor, dealing with the data, but the issue is none of this. The issue is general public, people out there. Artificial intelligence, it's such an interesting topic that gets many people for and against it. So Elon Musk, he believed that artificial intelligence is more dangerous than nuclear weapon. Stephen Hawking, he believed that artificial intelligence without careful management can spell the worst event in human history. Bill Gates, initially he voiced against artificial intelligence, but he recently said that the benefit of artificial intelligence far outweigh the risks. So there are many negative implications of AI that definitely we have to be careful and concerned about. But there's so many positive and benefits from AI that many people they talk about. And one of them is Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google. Look at his statement. AI is bigger than fire or electricity, probably the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. This is rather a bold statement, comparing AI with fire and electricity. So it shows the depths of opportunities that that new technology can bring to our life. But as I told you, the problem is general public. So general public, they tend to mix science with science fiction. I'm not a believer of those doomsday stories of, robots and can take over the world, they can get your job. But when you talk to people, general public, about artificial intelligence, their view of artificial intelligence are those pictures from sci-fi movies. When they hear about the new digital assistant, they expect to see something like Jarvis from Iron Man. That's true. But the reality is these AI applications, they're far from perfect, especially in the early days. Why? Because they rely on me and you, people, to use them in order to get better. Every time I get a new AI-based application or a chatbot or working with a digital human, the very first thing I do, I try to test the limit. I start asking so many different questions to see how I can break the system. Don't tell me I'm alone. Who else does that? Yes, please. Don't you usually start asking random different questions to see when can they stop and testing a limit? And this is really happening. And I think that's a really good thing because unconsciously you're really helping the system to get better and you provide them with some of the unknown information. I often get asked about the big when question. When are we going to see the big impact of AI? When AI is going to change the way that we're working? And I think the answer for all of these questions is yesterday. AI is well and truly here. With autonomous car, with pizza delivery drones, with security guards. How many of you know this robot, Boston Dynamics? So these robots, and finally, with the IBM Chef, it's capable of cooking over 2,000 different types of meals. I need one of those. AI is well and truly here. So it is interesting to see what is going to be in education. So there is no exception. 3 years ago, this little mischievous munchkin, she changed my life. It was a great shift in my priorities. The things that I used to care a lot, all of a sudden it become less important. The things I never used to be worried about, now sometimes really keep me awake in the middle of night. Every time I look at my daughter, I ask myself, what does the future hold for her? What kind of a world is she growing up into? I never forget, she's 3, she just turned 3 last week. Last year when she was 2 years old, she started talking to Google Home Assistant. I couldn't believe it. So you can guess, I do have accent, so my Google Home Assistant, sometimes I have to repeat one single comment 10 times, and just so frustrating. So I couldn't believe that she asked Google Assistant to play her favorite TV show, Peppa Pig, for her. Only 2. Yep. And that's just happening. So here's a short video of her.
Okay, Peppa Pig from YouTube, playing on bedroom TV.
Only 2. Guys, I lost my mommy power. She doesn't need me anymore, let alone my permission. So applications like Google Home Assistant and Alexa, they're just the beginning of cognitive computing and what is really happening in this field. So as I told you, education is no exception, but there are so many unknowns, so many uncertainties about education. What is very interesting for me is that the education we knew yesterday is different from today, and it will be different in the future. So our classroom is a little bit like that, but to be honest, in the principle, I think nothing really changed. So you still have your lecturer there, and students, they do whatever they want to do. But AI is going to really bring different perspective to education, and education will be completely different from what we know. So I often get asked about the question that, Is it possible to see computers and robots replace our teachers? And I think this is a really natural question. It is rather a bold and direct question, but I think it stems from the fear of losing job. I think that some more informed questions are, what impact will AI have on education? What opportunities will it present? And to what extent it will be involved? I think some of the things that people, they don't know, that AI is already being used in our education system. I want to give you a few examples. So you may know some of these applications, but the first one is AI SQL system. Who knows this system? This is a #1 AI adaptive learning system in the world. From China, they invested over $1 billion last year. Million students are using it right now in China. What it does, it's a tutoring system. It assesses students based on the current knowledge, and it suggests a new curriculum based on a student's knowledge gap and the skill set. Over time, when the student, they started using this system, so the curriculum changes accordingly. Isn't it amazing? The next one, who knows Amy? Amy is developed right here in New Zealand, in Christchurch. So from the company called Puna. So they're going to present their latest version of the API in the conference Future Learning next week in Christchurch. And it is a math tutoring system. So students, they can use that Amy all the time. So it provides real-time feedback to their teachers. As soon as a student is stuck with one exercise, it's coming with a different one. So it's changed according to students' skill set and reporting real-time feedback to the teachers. It tests over 30 different high schools across the country, and it's happening right here in New Zealand. Next one. It is from Southern California University. So they combine 3D gaming animation to create a virtual character to interact with the students in a virtual environment. So that's another level. And the one which I'm really proud of is from Soul Machine. How many of you heard about Soul Machines? So I have 2 PhD students right now, they're working with Soul Machines around the digital human. So if you don't know about this company, I would definitely recommend to go and check them out. They are the very first one that they're designing digital human. So last year, for the first time, they designed digital teacher. And digital teacher names is Will. So Will goes to school to teach about renewable energy to our kids here in New Zealand. So let's have a quick look of this video.
Hi, I'm Will. I work at Vector helping young people learn about renewable energy. Here's what happened when I met some students for the first time. I can help you become an energy expert. What should we start with?
Geothermal genius.
Magma from the Earth's core comes close to the surface and we end up with volcanoes, hot springs and geysers. But do you know what magma is?
Molten rock from the outer core.
Absolutely right.
I thought Will was really fantastic.
Like he's there looking at us. It's like a real human.
Here's a quick question for you. What do you think is the windiest city in the world?
Wellington.
Nice. If the sun is so far away, how long do you think it takes sunlight to reach us?
10 minutes.
Correct. You're a solar superstar. I was curious if they liked me.
It's different from like talking to Will than talking to like Siri, for example, because like he's there and you can see him.
He was quite human-like, even though he's an AI.
Then, the human version of me arrived.
Yeah, it was cool. We got some really good reactions out of a few kids.
Is that
Yeah.
It's really cool.
A couple of them didn't recognise me straight away. You know, it's me, eh?
Oh yeah, true, I can see that.
It's a bit of a shock seeing my digital avatar for the first time. It's like looking in the mirror, I guess.
Let's face it, he may look like me, but I'm the one who knows about energy.
Yeah, I think Will could be used as an education tool in many areas.
We did learn some things that we didn't know.
Wellington is the windiest city.
I learned that you wouldn't notice if the sun went away for 10 minutes.
It's not just a blank screen they're staring at answering questions, so they feel like they're actually interacting with a human.
He was a good teacher.
It was great meeting the thinkers of tomorrow, because together we can shape our energy future.
So what do you think? It was pretty amazing, right? So it seems the students, they really enjoyed the experiments and they were really engaged. So the question is, back again to my first question, would it be possible for us to see a time that AI can replace teachers in a school? I think for some reason, this is rather impractical and undesirable to really see teachers replaced by AI. The reason for that, and I think the most important thing, is teachers, they don't just impart knowledge. They teach wisdom through experience. They tend to encourage and inspire students through their own experiences. And I don't really know any AI system would be able to inspire and encourage students. Not only that, I think we as a human relate better with other humans. We would like to learn from someone who's capable of making mistakes. AI systems, they're designed to be perfect, to bridge the gap of imperfection. And I think this is not really for us. We would like to learn from someone who's capable of making mistakes, someone reachable, someone tangible, someone that we can aspire to be. But the very, very first missing point to me is the biggest difference between digital teacher and a human teacher is lack of empathy. You can't find a machine to be able to teach empathy. You can't find machine to be able to teach creativity. Machine might be able to exhibit creativity, but they're not capable of teaching creativity. They can't teach critical thinking. And I think because of this reason, we probably will see AI where it can help the best. And at the moment, the strength of AI, it lies in automation task, in actually just replacing and helping with the automation. So with the repetitive task automation, that's the best thing AI can do. And within the education sector, there is a lot of application, from admission and enrollment up to some of the course-related tasks like grading and assessment. They can all happen using AI. And these type of jobs, they're usually very time-consuming and labor-intensive, so we can easily free up teacher by using AI for that. So that would be the real impact of AI in the future. So what do I really feel about my daughter's future right now? I think the future is really exciting. It might be a little bit intimidating because we are entering into uncharted territory with a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unknowns. But one thing we know for sure, that AI is a very, very, very powerful tool, only tool, enabler, that can bring a lot of benefits to education system. So we have to move forward with caution. We have to have a robust national AI strategy for that. And education is no exception. But we have to move forward. So let's not jump in front of the train. Let's get on board before that train leaves the station. But for now, just watch this space. Thank you so much.